Welcome to a new edition of the Neon Jazz interview series with Indianapolis-based jazz vocalist Rebecca Rafla. We got into her new 2025 album, Fundamentally Unfinished, and a career in the jazz world. This emerging singer is known for her warm tone, lyrical phrasing, and deep respect for the jazz tradition. Drawing inspiration from classic vocalists while maintaining a contemporary sensibility, she has developed a style that blends swing, ballads, and modern jazz influences. Her repertoire often includes standards from the Great American Songbook, alongside fresh arrangements that highlight her nuanced storytelling approach. It's a story you need to hear. Enjoy this interview.
It's great to convene. I'm looking forward to getting into the new album and your world of music, so thank you so much.
Of course.
So let's begin our journey before we get into Fundamentally Unfinished by asking you this. 6 years ago, this pandemic was changing the world, and especially for artists and musicians. So how did you make it through that era? And how has it changed the way that you create and do things today?
Oh, man, that's a great question. I honestly think that was a huge launching point for me as a musician, because it forced me to be at home and forced me to really sit down and write music. That's when I really started diving into lyrics and melodies, and it was really amazing for me to kind of have that outlet. And you know, it was so hard to not get to sing out as often, not nearly as often for a while. And I got married during COVID too, which was a very inspiring time. It was a very weird time to be alive and in love and preparing for a wedding. But I think it really forced me to hone in some of those artistic muscles that I think I let slide for a little while because I was so busy performing out.
So Fundamentally Unfinished, talk to me a little bit about this album. What was kind of the overarching artistic vision for this project?
So Fundamentally Unfinished was not really, I didn't really start with a vision for this project. I just started writing. And Fundamentally Unfinished is one of the first songs that I ever composed, start to finish by myself. And I was like, you know what, this is kind of fun. And I kept writing, and then it kind of formed from the writing process more than sitting down and trying to conceptualize an album. It just kind of flowed more naturally. And so the record has 6 original songs and 4 jazz standards that I love. And the album really takes us on a journey of what the past really 6 to 8 years of my life looks like as a musician, and as a wife and a mom, and really explores how life is truly fundamentally unfinished without love, whether that's a romantic love, or a mother love, or a love of music, love of collaboration. So it really, it started very humbly, and it's just amazing to see how it's transformed over the past, 6 to 8 years.
So what are you hoping a listener gets from this album?
I always want people to emotionally connect with my music. I want people to feel something. I think we live in a culture right now where it's so easy to, just swipe on Instagram or TikTok and just not really take the time to sit and feel and really experience something that's special. And so I definitely want people to experience emotions that they didn't expect, or they don't normally feel. And the music on the record, it starts with the song, the namesake of the record, Fundamentally Unfinished, is the first song, which is this really hopeful, unsure, what's next kind of feeling, and it just takes you on this journey all the way to Sunday, which is kind of the centerpiece of the record, which is a really heart-wrenching, emotional song, and then it kind of lightens up, and it really takes you on a little bit of a roller coaster there, and I want people to experience that.
So take me back to your roots. Where were you born and raised, and how did music become your career and your life?
Yeah, I lived most of my life in Louisville, Kentucky, and still love Kentucky. It's a great place, and always have sung. You know, I loved singing in church. That's probably where I first started singing, in choirs and things like that, and then became a full-on bandy. I loved band so much. I played flute in the 5th grade, and through college I played flute and sang, and I found that I loved being with the band members, and I was good at the flute. I played on the record a little bit. I was fine, but I was a better singer than I was flute player. And my band director was like, "Hey, you sing?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I started singing with the jazz band and fell in love with being around those musicians, but also getting to sing. My undergraduate degree is actually in vocal music and studied classically for 4 years, which really helped me as a musician tremendously, because I learned about a different kind of artistry with vocal music, and really helps me as a performer, and brings a little bit of that kind of cabaret feel at times with my live performances. And then moved back to Kentucky, and then moved to Indianapolis, and was singing jazz professionally here, and started writing music, and really fell in love with writing, which I never thought I would love writing music, and had a lot of support from local musicians in Indianapolis. The scene here is just amazing. Truly some amazing musicians. Rob Dixon is a saxophonist who produced the record and helped co-write some songs and helped with some of the orchestrations. Steve Ali is on the record. I mean, it's just, it was just amazing to be with such talent, and they really helped form this record.
So when you were wrapping your head around this love of the music and all of the singers and musicians, who really swayed you? Who were influential in the way that you developed your voice?
Yeah. Ella Fitzgerald was the first jazz singer I ever listened to, and is probably one of the most inspiring singers for me. But as I've grown, I really love Sarah Vaughan, especially when she just is swinging. Like she's so good. And a Canadian singer, Emily Claire Barlow, does a lot of really cool bossa nova, and she's really, really talented and does a lot of really cool orchestrations that have inspired me.
So what was the first live show you saw, jazz or otherwise, that got lodged in your head and made you think, I want to do that one day?
I actually was talking about this earlier today. I saw a traveling Broadway production of Cinderella when I was in the 7th grade. And that was probably the first non-church, non-school live musical experience, and it changed my life. I remember just being enamored by the musicians, the orchestra, the singers, the actors. It was just so magical. And I actually get to take my twins to a production of Cinderella in July this year, and I'm so excited because it was my first show. They're a lot younger than I was, seeing it, but I think they're going to do great. but it really just instilled in me just like this love for performing. And a lot of my performing really incorporates the type of acting that musical theater singers and cabaret singers bring to the table, with the kind of jazz flair, and that kind of like laid back aspect that they bring to it.
Wow, that's a great story. So let me ask you this. As you get kind of geared up in your mind thinking about having this career as a musician, you have these ideas of what your career is going to be like, what it's going to be like to wake up every day being a musician, being a singer. And then there's the reality of it when it happens and you're in it, you're doing it. What's been the difference between what you thought it was going to be and what it's actually turned out to be?
Ooh, yeah. I think when I was younger and starting out as a singer, I didn't really see myself as a creator as much as I saw myself as a singer. And I think that when you're in it and you're doing this all the time and you are around high caliber musicians all the time, you really develop your musicianship and your creator side. And I think that is what has leveled up my performing, because when I sing a standard now versus when I started, I'm not just singing the song, I'm singing my version and my interpretation of a song. And I think I give myself more liberties to do that than I did initially. I think I was trying to fit in a box and trying to do something that was already done instead of doing something new or reimagined.
Absolutely. So what is it that gets you up every day that pushes you to grow and to be the singer that you are, to be the musician you are? What do you look forward to? What is that impulsion, that energy for you every day?
You know, when I became a mother 4 years ago, more than 4 years ago, I had twins, and I had to take a little bit of a step back from singing out as often as I had been, because it's a lot to have twins. Yeah. And I started writing and, even more, and arranging, and really that's when I started believing, like, okay, this record, I want to work on this album. Like, I think that I have these songs, they're coming together. That really propelled me to the next level of producing and creating Fundamentally Unfinished. And my children inspire me. My husband inspires me. He is my muse, and so are my children. I've been writing lullabies, and they've brought out types of music and styles of singing that I don't normally do, and they're just constantly changing the rules on me, and I'm having to grow and expand. And this album is dedicated to my family. They're just the most supportive and amazing people, and they do inspire me and push me all the time.
So let me ask you this. If you could get into a time machine and go back in time and see one jazz performance, where are you going to go? Who are you going to see?
Oh, okay. I don't know all the details perfectly, but Sarah Vaughan has a record that's a little more obscure, where she's live in China, I think. It was it kind of later in her career, and she's just so swinging, and she's moving so fast, and she's just like bringing such emotion. I don't know what year it was, to be honest. Near the end of Sarah Vaughan's career. I'm not very good at the trivia with the dates and things like that, but she has a really amazing live in China record. It's very fun.
I will definitely have to look that up and see what that is. So let me ask you this, just kind of in general, why do you love this art form we call jazz?
Jazz is one of the most inspiring types of music for me, because it's not putting musicians in a box. And we're seeing that with so many singers these days. Samara Joy brings this, amazing throwback and callback to an older time, but also has this like classical, strength to her voice. Emily Claire Barlow's doing some modern stuff, like Gretchen Parlato's doing some really, really amazing stuff. Like there's just so many different ways to interpret jazz, and I love that freedom to just kind of explore and find different sounds, and Fundamentally Unfinished really does that, where some of the songs are, this very classic bossa nova sound, and some of them are these lush arrangements that you would hear from, 1960s recordings, and then some of the songs are like Sunday is a little bit more of a singer-songwriter kind of feel, and then there's, that straight ahead jazz, of the namesake of the record, Fundamentally Unfinished, and I just think it's just so fun to delve into different sounds and styles, and it's still jazz. It still is something that inspires people and helps people to feel things more deeply and more authentically, and it keeps you on your toes, which is awesome.
So everybody has a perception of you, family, friends, fans, everyone on the bandstand with you, everyone that knows you in different capacities, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I think my goal always is to lead with kindness and to lead with to strength and help others, sit in the pocket of the song and enjoy it. I always am enjoying the music, which is important. I think a lot of people forget to just sit in it and smile and, have that upbeat, energetic attitude toward the music. And so definitely energetic and upbeat. Always. I love the guys I play with. They're amazing, every last one of them. And so it's so much fun.
So let's say we talk in 10 years from now. Where do you want to see your career? Where do you want to see things kind of develop? What would you tell me when I asked you first and foremost what's been going on? What would you want to say?
I want to definitely have more music out. I want to continue to dive deeper into myself, to write more music, and so yeah, definitely releasing some more music. And I'd really love to explore composers a little bit more deeply and try to reimagine some of these classics to keep them alive. I'm really passionate about keeping the music of Cole Porter and George Gershwin alive. The Great American Songbook is so important to our history, and I want to start doing shows that are more pointed at that, of bringing out these composers that just are so important. So I would love to do a show or a tour where I'm emphasizing different composers that are just so influential to even the music that's being released today by artists that are not jazz artists,
Absolutely. So what's going on for promoting the album? The warm months are coming up for shows, for people that want to pick up the album in earnest? Any of the good business?
Yeah. I am working on quite a few outdoor performances in the summer in the Indianapolis area right now, because I'm really passionate about making sure that my music is accessible to people of all ages. I love singing at the Jazz Kitchen. I know nothing's official, but I got a couple dates on the horizon. And it's amazing, but my kids can't come there quite yet. So definitely I'm planning to do a couple of shows there, in the summer as well. those are, I think the months of May through September are just the best months to sing because people are just so excited to be out and about. And so you definitely can find more information about the happenings that are coming this summer, on Instagram, Facebook, all the things.
I love it. I will put all those links in the show notes. Rebecca, I'm so glad that we connected, we convened, we had the chance to look into your career. So thank you so much. I'm looking forward to profiling you on the show.
Thanks so much, Joe. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening and tuning into another Neon Jazz interview. We give you a bit of insight into the finest players and minds in Indianapolis, Kansas City, and spots all over the world, giving fans all that jazz. Thanks to Rebecca for coming on by the program. If you want to hear more Neon Jazz interviews, you can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to us at YouTube, and for everything Neon Jazz, go to theneonjazz.blogspot.com. Until next time, enjoy the jazz, my friends.
Fundamentally unfinished without you. I used to dream.
Neon Jazz.